I grew up in New York, Long Island, New York, Strong Island for those who know. My family's from Jamaica. I started in teaching high school at Jones High School in Central Florida. And there was a student, well, there were many students that I helped to complete their application package to universities around Florida. There was one student who was upset, and she said she wouldn't be going to college because she was pregnant. And I said, you have to go, right? This is an opportunity of a lifetime. And so did some research with this particular university and found out that there was a parent program that offered on-campus housing for mothers and families. And so got her connected with that, and she ended up starting at the university after her baby was born. So that really sparked this kind of, this fire, if you will, or this calling that said, this is probably the place I want to be. There are nearly 20 million students enrolled in higher education across the country. And I think that the problems that we're facing in higher ed are even in education as a whole, they're unprecedented. And it takes not just the solutions that we've used before, because we have never seen this problem before, but it's going to take us collectively to think about how we can approach the problem. And collectively, it means people within higher education, within departments that we have never partnered with before, and of course, outside of higher education. I like to walk around and watch our students. They're almost looking into space, and you can, when I approach them, they say, I can't believe I did this. Or when I started, I didn't believe that I would be here today, and here I am. And I think looking at that is a point of pride. I usually call it the equalizer, but there's a democratizing effect that education has on our community. And so once people have access to information, and once we can untap that curiosity, they begin to look at things very differently.
I grew up in East St. Louis, Illinois, graduated from Lincoln. I was the last graduating class in '98. One of 4 children. My mom has 4 children, 2 sets of twins. And my brother and I both have our doctorate degrees. So life has been about education and just keeping it moving forward. I am married. I have 4 children. I'm a boy mom. My oldest is 22, on down to 3. So they're pretty spaced out. And life is good. I have a passion for teaching and being a role model for kids, and just knowing that, some actually do rise above their circumstances. It's not hard for everyone, but the ones that you might have thought wouldn't have, they actually do make it, and they come back to thank you, and they embrace you and tell you how well they're doing. When they like you, they learn. They're motivated. They want to be in your class. And so just having a relationship beyond just, okay, this is the assignment, let's get through this, just, hey, did you had a football game? How was it? Or just being a little bit more personal, following up with them and letting them know that getting to know them beyond the classroom. So I think that students love that, and that helps them. This is gratifying, actually receiving awards beyond what I thought. So I was named District Teacher of the Year last year. And so people just knowing and recognizing what I do and how it impacts education and the students it's very gratifying. I'm humble. I'm on platforms a lot, which I'm just laid back, but it is gratifying to be recognized. And it just makes me want to do more.
I'm so passionate about teaching reading. Reading is so important to me. I think it's just a fundamental foundation. So when I was into the classroom, if I am teaching that basic for reading, and a child gets it, and that look on their face and their reading, that just brings joy to my heart. I always looked at the environment. I focused on making sure that the environment was inviting for children. And not only when I looked at that environment, I would write down a diagram of how I'm gonna set my classroom up. And then also I would even take out the time to sit in the chairs, to look around the classroom, sit on the carpet, to kind of get a visual look of, hey, how would children feel? Because I want the children to come into the room, want it to be inviting, and that's kind of like my hook. So once they are there, I can teach them at that particular time. You know, I put my all into what I do on a day-to-day basis, but to me, it's not a job, you know, because I knew a long time ago that I was destined to go on this path and that this was the walk that I was supposed to take. It's a calling upon my life. And I really can honestly say that I don't have any regrets. And I just, when someone looks at my life, I want them to be able to say, yes, I enjoy servicing people, even if it's the little bitty people, you know, I enjoy this because it's so rewarding, you know, and at the end of the day, I don't have any regrets because I really do enjoy the life of Mary Hairston.
I was going to Western Illinois University and studying to be a doctor. Did not enjoy my anatomy class, and so they made us take an elective for math, and it was outstanding. I took a teaching elective for math, and I loved it. And so I started taking more teaching classes, and that's when I realized I love teaching. This is really where I want to be, and I've always loved children, so I was going to be a pediatrician, so I just slipped on over to teaching instead. Some of the qualities that an educator should have when working with children, first of all, is patience and a love for learning and a love for the students that they're actually teaching. I can have the master plan, and I call myself a master teacher. You know, they've called me a master teacher in East St. Louis, and you have a plan that you're like, this is the plan. These kids are gonna love it. And you go in there like, we're doing what? So being flexible and then meeting the students' needs, being able to figure out what their needs are and what they do enjoy. So I would say definitely flexibility, the love of kids, the love of learning, and the ability to figure out what students need are all parts of being a great teacher. I'm gonna be honest and say, when I see my former students and they're working at like McDonald's or Popeye's Chicken, and they're like, Miss McLean, they run around the counter and they hug you. That is the best feeling in the world. And I have a student now I'm getting old. I don't know if you know that, I'm getting old. And my students have kids that are coming into my class and they're like, no, put them in Miss McLean's class. That feeling is phenomenal because you know you did a good job. If they want their babies who they love, I mean, that's their baby. To be with you, you know you did something phenomenal and something right. And I have students now that are lawyers and doctors and engineers, and they're going into astronomy and stuff, fields that you don't expect people to go into. And they're doing that because they figured out the love of learning, and they realized that whatever they learned from us in our schools, they're able to take and follow their dreams with it. So